Well, good morning, Crazy Bear Gold. How are you doing? I heard you stayed up a little bit last night and got some extra levels on us. But today we're going to see what happened yesterday and how things went. First off, we set up a little spreadsheet that will track our progress. Right here, today is day 2. We can see that Crazy Bear got quite a few levels last night. He actually ran for about 3 hours. While he was running, he did not he did not sell anything on the auction house. He did not look at anything on the auction house. And the only thing he did was he did sell vendor items, and he had to get some bigger bags. He was tired of having to go find a vendor to sell to. So he did get some bags. 60 gold is what he spent. But let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Now, I've got all these items that I need to put on the auction house. One of the things that people don't think about, when you're selling, there are really 2 major things that you want to consider. Number one is the price, obviously. But what people don't normally think about is how many of them sell. So, for example, I know that this Bloom sells a bunch of it. Okay. So if I take and click on Bloom, there's only 57 at 20 silver. Well, I guarantee those 57 are going to sell today. I would bet that the 917 would sell today, but I wonder how many of them really do sell today in a single day. Well, it would be nice to have something that told me that so that I know, okay, is it going to sell? This looks like about 2,000. Is it going to sell 2,000? In which case I should post it at 88. Or is it only going to sell 1,000? In which case I should post it at the 30 silver. It'd be kind of nice to have an add-on like that. The other thing is if I go through and look at each of these, it's going to take me a long time. And if I'm sitting looking at the auction house, I'm not making gold. So it would be nice to have an add-on that would do this for me so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, we did have some sales. Some things didn't sell. But you know what? Going into each of these and figuring out what sold and how much sold, that's going to take a lot of time. It'd be nice if I had an add-on that did that for me. Well, there is. And it's called Trade Skill Master. What Trade Skill Master does is it makes a gold maker on steroids. Okay. And so we're going to go through today how to get Trade Skill Master. To get Trade Skill Master is very simple. Just get in a browser, go to tradeskillmaster.com, scroll all the way to the bottom of the web page. In the bottom right, there's Install TSM. Down here in step 1, it says download links, Windows or Mac. Choose which one you have. It will download it. You click on that and you say you run the setup. That will install TSM for you. After TSM is installed, you should see a helper app show up. You do have to have an account, so you need to register just your email and a password. Once you do that, you will come up to this screen right here. I will bring mine up. Yours will not have all of this stuff here. It should have US up to date. If you're in the US, it should have EU if you're in the EU. You simply click on settings. Now you must tell TSM what realm are you playing the game on. You pick your realm. It doesn't matter what it is. There's Area 52 in EU, and you click Add. Then you click done. Now you've told TSM you want it to update prices for that realm. If you had multi-realms, you could select up to 10 realms all at the same time. Next thing you need to do is you need to make sure you have the current version. So go to add-on versions. If any of these, so the only two you care about is the Trade Skill Master and the App Helper. If they say they're not up to date, just double click on the red text. So you would double click right here or right here and it will install the latest update. That's it. TSM is now running and it's ready to go. We can minimize this and get back to making gold. It's just like any add-on. You can go to add-ons and you go to Trade Skill Master. Make sure you do both the Master and the App Helper. You need both of those and click Reload. Now, when I take and mouse over, you will see some extra information on the item, okay? Including, if you look in the bottom line, regional average daily sold. That's how we know how many of these sell in a day. It's critical for our information. Let's take a look at TSM. Now that we have TSM installed, we need to get it set up. The way you do that is you go to your chat window in the bottom left and you type in /TSM. It will bring up TSM. You want to go to settings, and I recommend that you create a profile for each of your characters. So you would just go down here to profile and you would type in the name of your character. You can see I've already done that. So I would type in just CZYBEARGOLD, and then that's all I need to do, hit enter. Next thing you want to do is you want to go to tooltip settings. TSM has a vast amount of information that it can give you to help you make good decisions in your crafting and selling decisions. All you need to do is turn on and turn off the items that you care about, and it will automatically show in your tooltips. Well, where are these tooltips? When you mouse over any item in your bag, or on the auction house, or really anywhere in the world, it brings up these tooltips. So you can play with these. I encourage you to play with these. You want to find the things that make sense to you as things that are important and turn them on and turn off the things that are not. The next thing you should do is you should go down to macros. You want to make sure that the My Auctions cancel button is turned on. The auctioning post cancel button is turned on. The scroll wheel up and down is turned on. And then pick a modifier. It can be any one of these three or any combination of them. What this is going, and then you want to click update macro. Make sure you do that. What this is going to do is when you want to post your auctions, you go in, you click one button that says post auctions. It will bring up all the items that you could put on the auction house, and you can use your scroll wheel along with, in my case, the control key to post those auctions. We'll see that in a minute, but for now, just get that turned on so that it's ready to go, and make sure you hit that update existing macro to make it ready. The next thing we need to do is we need to set up groups. So what is a group? A group is nothing more than a selection of items that you want to treat in the same way. So when you go to the auction house, you want to post these auctions in a very specific way. If you're going to do a mailing operation, you would want to mail all these items to the same person. So it's any group of items that you want to treat the same. Now, for our purposes for day one, or day two, we're just going to select anything that we want to put on the auction house, and we're just going to say sell it. So I'm going to create, I clicked on the, let me do that again. So on the base group, I click the plus sign and I will type, and so this creates a new group for me. I'm going to type a group name. I'm going to say sell it. Make sure you hit the enter key, otherwise it will not save that name. So I hit the enter key. Now what I need to do is I need to go down and decide what are the things I want to sell. Well, the healing potion is something I want to keep in my bags because if I get in trouble, I need a heal pot. So I won't sell that. Sure, I'll sell the ore, the cinder belly, the gleaming shard, the iron claw, lure drop, just stuff that I've collected along the way. I really don't mind selling it. There's some fish. This is one of the new gems for the ring. We don't want to sell those. Fish, storm dust, warped ring. Okay, those are all the things I want to sell. So I'm going to click on the add. That adds them to the group. The next thing I want to do is create a group that says don't sell. I don't want to sell these and I want to make sure they never get sold. I would go back to the base group and click the plus sign and I will name this don't sell. Does everybody remember what I need to do after I put that name in? Yes, you must hit the enter key to keep that name. So now we're back to our don't sell group. In our don't sell group, we're going to pick all of the remaining items in my bag. Okay? Perfect. They won't sell. So now we have to tell TSM, what do we want to do with these things? Okay, so we've got groups. Now we got to tell it what to do with the group. Well, the don't sell is easy. We don't want you to sell them. So we go to operations. And by default, TSM is going to try and sell it. We'll get into this a little bit in a minute. But we want to say, nope, don't do that. We don't want you to sell it. We don't want you to mail it. We don't want you to warehouse it. We'll get into all of these in just a minute. But for now, we don't want to vendor it. Okay? So we just turn off what we don't want. We just basically want it to leave those guys alone. Now if I go to the sell it group, in the sell it group, what we want to do is we want to sell it, but we want to be smart. Okay? Now, we want to sell this iron claw, but if you notice, we were talking about how many of them sell. Let me take a screenshot of this. Let me take and bring this out so that we can focus in on it. Let me bring this over here. Now we can look at this better. So right now, it's selling for $10.59. The average over the last 7 days is it has dropped in value by 2%. So over the last 7 days, this guy has gradually gone down in price. Okay? But the region average sale is 11 gold right here. So right now it's selling for $10.59. The average of the region is 11 gold. And it sells 73,689 in a day. See that? So TSM gives us a lot of information. So the key that I want to focus in on is 73,689. Let's go look at the auction house. Pull up the auction house. I take and bring up Iron Claw. I don't have it in my bags. Let me go get it so that I have. No, I do have it in my bags. Where is it? I didn't see it. Here it is. I bring up Iron Claw and I hit search. We're going to look at the rank 1. So it sells 73,000 in a day. So Iron Claw, all of this Iron Claw is going to sell today unless somebody comes in and puts a bunch out. Look, if I take and come all the way down to here, that's only 11,000 Iron Claw. So unless somebody comes in and dumps a bunch of Iron Claw on the market, All this iron claw is going to get bought up. So if you hear the word resetting a market, what that is somebody with a lot more gold than Crazy Bear Gold has got says, you know what, I can buy the 11,000 iron claw ore for 99,000 and repost it at this 1239, and the chance of it selling in the next 12 hours is high, because on a daily basis 73,000 of these are selling. This is only 1/7 of what sells in a day. So if I can buy it with an average price of $865 and I sell it with a price of $1239, guess what? I just made 50% on that money. What do we want to do? We want to tell TSM, knowing that that is going to sell, we don't want to post our auction at the cheapest price. We're trying to, the way you make gold is not by some people make gold by selling big items for a lot of gold, but most gold makers make their gold by making a small percentage profit. So if I look at this, if I can sell this at $7.45, that's how much I would get, $7 gold and 45. But if I increase it by 10%, now I sell it at $8.11, something like that. That's still easily within the daily sales rate, so it should sell today. If I sell it for 20% more, that's 1 gold, 40 silver, that would be $8.80. That's still easily within the range. Well, how can we do that? What we can do is we can tell TSM, we don't want to sell it at the cheapest price. We want to sell it at the cheapest price plus some percentage. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into TSM. Since all of these materials that I have they're all big sellers. If I go look, that's 14,000. I'm going to hold it there for a second. 300, 1,700, 33, that's a pretty low one. 49,000, 6,000, 2,000, 7,000. You can see these are all, except for this one, pretty good sellers. Now, for the simplicity, I'm going to lump all these together. I would probably pull that one that was a real small seller, this guy, out and do him separately. But for now, we're just going to lump it all together. Okay? So how do we do that? We go to our Sell It group. We go to Operations. We tell it we want to change the default. We do not want to use the default operation. We want to create our own. So we're going to override it and we're going to add one. I always call this rename sell plus, and then I'm going to say 10%. You pick what you want. That's what I do. I've never changed these. I don't know what they are. I'm sure somebody uses them. I do not. I want to keep this simple, so we're going to move on. I forgot to hit the enter key. Did you see that? I just told you don't forget to hit the enter key. Sell plus 10%. Okay. I never post my auctions for more than 12 hours. Okay. Now, post cap. If these things sell thousands a day, do I want to post them 4 at a time and have to take like this 142? If I post 5 at a time, this is going to take a lot of days to sell all these. No. If things are going to sell thousands in a day, I want to sell at least 1,000 of them at a time. Now, if I don't have 1,000 in my bag, it will sell whatever I have. We'll put it at 100 so we can see how this will only sell 100 out of these two. But again, for these kind of items, I would sell at least 1,000. Sometimes I put 2,000 on the market at a time. Now, these are formulas. There are lots of ways that you can take and create a formula. You can come up with whatever you want to do. Okay, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to type in DB recent times 1.15. Okay, Now, that's the minimum I'm going to sell it. Well, Crazy Bear Gold, you just said you were going to sell it for a 10% profit. That's right. But remember, the auction house takes a 5% cut. The auction house is going to take 5%. So if I just said 10%, then it would take, I would only make a 5% profit. So you've got to take into account, what is the auction house going to take from you? Now, if there happen to be none of these on the market, what would I be willing to sell this to? Well, if there are none of these on the market, there's going to be some desperate people. So I'm going to sell this for DB recent times 10. I'm going to get 10 times the normal average sale price. They're not on the market. I can name my price. Now, if somebody happens to go in and reset this, and let's say that they reset something like bismuth ore, and it was at 7 gold a piece, and they reset it to 700 gold, more than 100 times what the normal is. What is the maximum I'm going to charge? So I'm greedy, but I'm not that greedy. So I'm going to say, no, if the maximum price is more than 50 times what the average price is, I'll sell it at 50 times. Now, the minimum price, remember, we know that we're posting above the minimum. We don't want to post at minimum because we know that there's a likelihood it's going to sell them at a higher price. So, but we've got to get them on the auction. So we need to change this to say, if our price is above what's the minimum price on the auction house right now, what do we want to do? We want to go on and post them at our minimum price. Okay, so now let's take a simple example. So we're going to look at iron claw ore, and we're going to take and follow it through. Okay, that's the only one we're going to look at, just so that we have something to look at. So, how do I post my auctions? I take and just I go to the auction house, I go to TSM, I tell it I don't want to do the base group. That's something we haven't put in a group yet. I don't want to post auctions on the don't sell. I just want to post auctions on what I put in my sell it. That's the list of items that were in there. Okay. Now we're going to focus in on iron claw. Notice iron claw is saying that it's going to sell it at 759. All right. Now remember, we set up the scroll key. So in order to post these, all I need to do is hold down the control key and scroll. It's not working. No, it's not. The reason it's not is it's trying to scroll this window. It thinks you're trying to scroll the window to look at these things. So if it were right here, if this window was smaller, I don't know if I can get it. No, I can't get it small enough. But if this list was bigger than the window, it would scroll the window up and down. In order to post the auctions, you have to be outside the TSM window. Now when I hit the control scroll, nothing works. It didn't work. Okay, hold the horses. Let me go take a look at my settings. I go here, got it set, the top two, up, down, control. Did I hit the update existing macro? I don't know. Let's try that. Let's go back to the auction house. Run the post again. Now it still doesn't scroll for me. It still does. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in browse. What am I doing? I should be auction. I should be selling. There we go. I don't want to be searching for those. I want to be auctioning them. There it goes. It's now posting. Now the iron claw ore is the one we were going to study. Remember, we said we were going to sell it for 15% more than the DB recent. So the DB recent is 760. So 15% is 70 plus 35, which is about another gold. So we should be selling at about 860. Yep, there it is. Now, if I go look at iron claw ore,
So it's selling at $7.55. We posted down here. So in a normal day, since this sells 20,000 of these things, all of these should sell, and I should sell my ore at $8.74. Well, look what I just did. TSM is just made me 1 gold, 20 silver, more than I would have made than if I had just come in and clicked on it and said sell. We're making more gold with the same stuff. Notice also, since we said we posted only 100, TSM only posted 100, so we still have some more of these that we could sell later on. All right.
Okay. Now let's take a look at my mailbox. Notice it comes up with a different format. This is TSM's mailbox. And the reason I like this mailbox is it allows me to see very quickly how much gold I made, and I can see what sold and what didn't. Okay? So you can see all of the stuff that we flipped from that vendor yesterday is now sold. Remember, we sold all of this at a higher price. Okay? So I'm going to take a little screenshot of this, and we'll save this off and go do some analysis here in a minute. So we've got the screenshot. I've got it saved right here. Right here it is. We'll come back to that in just a minute. But we made 16 gold, 83 silver. That sounds like a good day's work for a day one. We're going to go on, open this. Okay, now if I wanted to save I could only open the expired items and save the stuff that sold if I wanted to. But for my purposes, I want to track how much I'm making every day. This is a good idea of how much I made. Here. Let me get my spreadsheet back open. There we go. So at the end of day one, we ended with 717.26. Not a bad day one. So we will move over and we will say that we started this day with whatever we ended with the previous day, because that's what we're starting today with. And we're ready to go on. Okay, so now we want to go post our auctions. Now, how much time do you spend posting your auctions? Here's how much time I do. Okay, I go into the auction house. Notice the auction looks different now. This is TSM's layout of the auction house. So I can go to auctioning and I can say, I want to post. Now there's some invalid items because the minimum price is, if you look down here in the bottom, it says the minimum price is below the vendor price. Okay. The other thing is if TSM hasn't gotten the price of something, it doesn't know how much it is. So trying to give you an amount for a DB recent when it doesn't know what the item is, it can't pick a price. That's fine. We'll let it post what it can, and then we'll post the other ones manually ourselves. So if you click on post, it will post that item for you. Okay. Notice it says that it's below the minimum. Let me make that a little bit bigger. It will post it at the minimum. Okay. Which is exactly what we want. We want to sell this a little bit above the minimum because we want to get as much gold as we can. So we're going to continue posting. Here is undercutting the competition. What that means is it's just basically matching the price. Now, I've been clicking on this post button here to post. But remember, we set up the macro to use the scroll wheel. So if I hold down the control key, and you have to have your mouse off the auction window. That's a key. If you try and do it here, all it does is scroll the window. That's not what we want. You take your mouse off the auction window and you can scroll, and it's not working today, of course. Okay, I will look at that and figure out what it is, but what you should be able to, actually, let's just do it right now. Let's try and go back one more time. So to get into TSM, you type /TSM. Okay, we'll go back to settings. We'll go back to macros, up and down, control. We'll tell it to do it again. Oh, notice it doesn't have the auctioning. I will also be using this for canceling, so I'll be using that for the cancel. I don't use it for any of the other stuff. So there's my problem. I need to click on auctions cancel button and auctions post. There we go. Now let's see if this works for us. Run the post scan. We get back in. We have sorry, I'm not used to looking at the stream chat, and we have somebody, a visitor. Welcome, Harriet Queen. You are my first official visitor. Sure appreciate you joining. I will take and do a better job of watching chat now that I know I have somebody with me. Ask any questions. I've been in WoW for over 15 years, and I've been gold making for 3 years, and I found a new love of this game in gold making. So welcome, and thank you for joining and following. You are my first official follower. So we are posting auctions right now from yesterday's. Yesterday was day 1 with CZYBEAR, and he went out and started leveling, and we are in the process of posting the things that he got. So the scroll wheel is now working now that we've got it set up correctly. I'm posting my auctions, and I do want to do one other thing. We will do that in just a second. One of the things that we do want to do is we want to change TSM to tell us when we've sold something. So we'll go back to TSM. I typed in /TSM right down here in the chat window. Go to settings, and we go to auctioning, and we say, yeah, when it sells, I want to hear it. So there we go. Now TSM will let us know when things sell. Hopefully we'll see some here soon. So Harriet, how are you doing? What is your interest in WoW and gold making? Tell me a little about yourself. So we've posted the auctions, and now what we want to do is we have those items that TSM didn't know what to do with. So I will take and go in and manually post those. So I go back to the old WoW interface, click on the item. Now notice the fishing poles I bought for 1 copper. Let's see how many I have now. I have 10, so none of them sold yesterday. So I'm going to drop the price to 1 gold. I bought it for 1 copper from the vendor yesterday. So if I can sell it for 1 gold, that's easy money, and I would be happy to sell it. So the next thing we'll do is sell that copper rod. We already sold one. We're selling one, but we'll sell the other one. These are soulbound. I need to sell those. And this is a recipe. Sure, I'll sell it. Again, I don't undercut people because if somebody comes to buy that, they will buy mine until somebody posts in front of me. So notice my bags. They're completely clean. That's the beauty of organizing your bags as you go, so that when you get to the auction house, you sell your vendor items, you post your auctions, and you're ready to get back to enjoying the game. Um, and and I'm going to sell these. I don't like the TSM interface for selling, so I switch back to the classic. So since I have a viewer, which I very much appreciate, Harriet, I'm going to continue this. I'm going to stop the stream here and do some other things, but we'll go on and continue with what's our next step. So Crazy Bear Gold is out questing and leveling. But as a gold maker, you want to become as efficient as you can at making gold. And one of the ways you could do that is by having what's called an auction toon or a bank toon. So we're going to log off of Crazy Bear Gold, and we're going to create our bank toon. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a character. I'm going to create me a human because I want to be able to get to Stormwind quickly. As a human, I can get there just by running there. And I will take and say customize. And we're going to call her Crazy Bear Bank. Just something that we can remember. We're going to give her a gold hair color because she's going to have lots of gold at some point. Yep. Let's see. She looks wonderful. So, Crazy Bear Bank. We're going to start her in the Northshire Valley. Yep. And we're going to move her to the top of my list because she's the one that I'm going to be working with on the most consistent basis. I will basically get into her multiple times a day to post auctions, collect money, and have fun. So we'll get out of the intro. The Crazy Bear Bank is always going to be a level 1. So sadly, all she wants to do is get to Stormwind as fast as she can. So we're going to get her little bike. We're going to take and race over to Stormwind as fast as we can, hopefully not dying. I have died several times on the way to Stormwind. They seem to know what I'm trying to do, which is to get to the bank as fast as possible. We'll go around these two. They would probably kill me on the way. We'll let them chase after me. So what we are doing on this stream is we're showing people how to make gold from start to finish. We have started Crazy Bear with level 1 yesterday, and we're showing how you can level, but at the same time maximizing your gold. Most people, when they're leveling, they literally just go out questing or whatever, dungeons, whatever you like doing, and they typically sell their stuff for below market, what I consider below market, and don't make as much gold as they can. So we're trying to make sure we maximize our gold, and that's what this stream is about. We will eventually get into all the different kinds of, I shouldn't say all, there's so many different ways to make gold in WoW. I will go through the majority of the most prominent ones as we go through this stream. But I'd love to have questions. That makes it a lot more interactive. And now that I'm watching chat, I will answer you a little more quickly than I did the first time. So in gold making, there's a lot of different ways. The easiest way to make gold is by gathering and then selling at a reasonable price. Obviously, people know that you can make gold by crafting. What a lot of people don't realize is you can make gold by just buying vendor items and posting them on the auction house for lazy people who will then buy it for more money than what you paid for it. Let's go have a little fun with this one. Um, Actually, we did that yesterday. Let's complete that. So this is my bank Toon. For right now, all I want to do is I want to take and just have her sitting in store while I'm ready to collect mail. She will eventually post auctions for me and stuff like that. But right now, we've got our bank Toon sitting right where she needs to be. Um, Actually, let's go back over to that other vendor. We'll take a look at how much gold we made on the items we vendor sold on the auction house yesterday, and kind of see things you can do. It's kind of nice having this scooter to get around. Even when there's a level 1, you get through places a lot quicker. So one of the things that I enjoy about this game is how so many people can play it differently and still enjoy it and find it value. So one of the reasons I started making gold was to get the Brutosaurus, which sadly I missed it. I was a few 100,000 away when the mount stopped being sold on the vendor. But I now pay for all of my game time and subscriptions with gold making, and is just doing things that I enjoy. Um, so if we look right here from yesterday, we bought some copper rods. We bought some mining picks. So we sold 5 mining picks for 6 gold and 64 silver. We've paid a silver for each one. We bought 5 of those. So, and if we look, fine thread was not on this screen. No, nowhere we picked up the fine thread from. There it is, 95 versus 4 silver. So we didn't do so well on that. Fine thread did not sell for us very well. Silken thread, on the other hand, we sold 7 of them for 54 silver, and we paid 4. So that was 28 versus 54, so we doubled our money there. Heavy silken, we sold for 17. We lost money there. So one of the things about gold making is you will learn that you will never always make money. You just have to take the losses with the gains. And our dies, we gray die we had for 3 silver, and we sold it for 5, almost double there. Black, we sold for 63, and then we bought it for 9. So we made some money on that. Weak flux, we lost money there. Okay. Now, if we'd had the auction formula going, it would not have sold this below what we bought it for. And I'll show how to do that. Let's just do that right now. So if we don't want to sell something, so if I go back to TSM /TSM, and I go back to my group, go back to the base group and operations, we're going to go back into the default auctioning operation and posting. So we're in a different character right now. Okay, we need to be back on CZYBEARGOLD. Actually, while we're here, we'll go on and set up this just like we did the other one, so that our auction, our bank Toon, is ready to go. So we never sell for less than 12 hours. We always sell 2,000. This formula here, we need to modify that, okay? And what we really want to do is we really want to do the max. So what max does is you give it multiple answers and you tell it to give me the one that's the biggest. Okay, so we want the max of the vendor sell. What is the amount we would make if we sold it to the vendor? Or then here's the second part where we just got done doing DB recent, which is the recent price, the recent average price times 1.10, 10%. So now that will give us, so this is, we're just going to copy that formula down and we're going to change this. Remember, this is where you're greedy. What's the maximum you're going to sell it for? What's the minimum? If none of them are on the auction house, what would you sell it for? So I'll take DB recent times 10. That might not be what I had before, but that's okay. So there's that. We now have that set up. So max vendor sell DB recent. So it takes the maximum, whether the vendor sell is higher or DB recent times 1.1. That would prevent us from ever selling something below what the vendor sold it to us for. Okay, so our bank Toon is at least a little set up. We'll do some more work with her later. But for right now, she's good. So now we will go back to CZYBEARGOLD and we'll continue the leveling with CZYBEARGOLD. We have our bank Toon, we're ready to go. So and we'll take off and go back to where we're requesting, which was right over here in Waking Shore. Find something that's close. Ruby Life Pools looks like a good choice. We'll go there. There's Ruby Life. We'll want to get rid of this. So CZYBEARGOLD was set up yesterday, and it is just a gathering toon. It will gather herbs and ores for me to get money, and it will also do fishing and cooking when we get to current content. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of fishing, but it was mainly just to get some different variety of items to sell. But when we get to current content, we will start using that more effectively. So one of the things that you do as a gold maker is whenever you're out, you are constantly looking for ways to make more gold while you're doing what you enjoy doing, which is playing the game. So I'm constantly looking at my mini map for where I can go get some more gold. This guy is going to kill me if I'm not careful. And then I will go there to pick up that stuff. The other thing is I will be going through a lot of add-ons that make your life easier as you're doing these things, such as there is an add-on called Gatherer that we will show how to set up in a future stream that will make gathering a lot easier to do. If that's something that you enjoy, you can easily increase your income by using Gatherer to do your running around. So I welcome any questions. This makes it more interactive. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy teaching. I am perfectly willing to go off on squirrel tangents. If there's some particular question, we're starting out with basics. I will eventually turn this into a series about Let's Make Gold. So I am starting out slow so that the videos, when they come out, will be easy to follow and something that the average person, even a new person to WoW, could follow, do, and learn how to make gold while they're having fun. So that's the goal of why I'm moving a little slower than normal. But that's okay. It's part of the journey. So we'll get a couple of these quests done, and then we'll get back out in the world to collect some ore and herbs. I do post normally at the end of every one of my days with a Toon. I do post in the evening or at the end of the run. And then I also repost in the morning before I start on a Toon. So a Toon usually posts twice a day. While I'm questing, I seldom go back to the main city. I typically will just quest as much as I can. The only exception to that is if my bags get full, I will sell vendor items to keep moving along. So that's kind of how I do it. Try and maximize my game time and minimize my management of gold making. So, and here we go. Let's get this guy. Something else I show the growth. Okay. Yeah, you can hit on me. It'll be okay. These are Dragonflight knowledge, shards of knowledge, which you go turn into a guy in a mountainside. I'll go do that at some point today. So I do stream 3 days a week. The plan is early in the morning for the European folks, and then in the evening for the US folks. I will be doing pretty much the same stream, but it will be on different tunes. I will start leveling a crafting tune in the evening. Crazy Bear will be my morning tune, so that you'll be able to see. So if you can join me on both, that's great. Every once in a while, I'll probably switch them up and show the morning crew the gathering tune. The morning crew the crafting tune, and the evening show we'll go to CZYBEARGOLD just so that people can kind of see a little bit of variety. So all right, so we've completed those 2 quests. I see some gold down below me. I will go after it. I do that a lot on my gathering tunes. They are meant to chase these yellow dots. As one of my favorite streamers is the Yellow Dot Chaser, and it's called Bacon Bits is her name. She's a wonderful streamer. She's been away for a little while now. I don't know why, but she left for Disneyland, maybe just decided to stay there. But she's a Yellow Dot Chaser. She's very effective at it. So if you get a chance to go see her, that would be a great thing to do. I do watch a lot of gold makers. It's pretty incredible how different people can make a lot of gold doing completely different things and find enjoyment out of an activity that sometimes you don't think about. We have so we'll probably be talking about all of those streamers at some point in this stream. I did learn a lot from each one of them, and they're always willing to help you if you decide you want to go do a different type of farming. Once I get all my tunes up and running, my primary primary gold making is with flipping, realm flipping, which we will get into, crafting, and I do very little gathering. Gathering is something that I do at the very beginning of a patch or a new version of WoW. And then when the prices get down to where they're not real profitable or as profitable, they're always profitable because that's the one part of gold making that you guarantee will get money on is gathering. But if it doesn't become effective gold per hour, then I stop, which is kind of where we are in the world within right now. Maths are not quite the best. You still make gold, but not as much as you did at the beginning. I don't know where this treasure is. We will quit looking for it because it is hiding from me. As I say, we will quit looking for it. I continue looking for it, and I found it. It's stuck in this corner. We'll get that treasure. Get these guys off me so that I can start flying again. And I do die frequently. I'm a little bit of an aggressive player. Tend to take on more than I should. But that's okay. I'm not in class. That's the reason I don't play a hardcore classic. I know I would not do well there. I have killed level 1 Toons before, many times actually. And that's okay. My name did come about, crazy, came about because I was a main tank for a guild. And I had a tendency to pull more than the guild can handle. And so they required me to change my name to Crazy. So if you notice here, I'm starting to collect some mats. I'll move those things down to the bottom just to keep my bags clean, so I know what I'm getting. And those will be ready to sell. Those are all gray items. That's not a gray item. And we'll move those down there just because I don't want to bring them out right now. We'll keep going. So again, I like to maximize my game time when I'm playing. I like to stay out in the world as much as I can, and just do as much as I can in the shortest period of time. We are still trying to level, so there's just so many ores around here. Can't let them go. So we're going to overload this one. It's an elemental ore. So the way to overload it is, actually I can't. I've got 2 hours and 59 minutes on those, so I will just pick it up like normal. You would click on your overload, and then you would loot it like normal, and you would get extra stuff. But I still have to wait. My skills are not quite high enough. Should come about soon. Actually, I haven't trained any of my points. I should do that. Come on now. There we go. Let me go on and train on some of my skills. I'll get some better maths. How dare me run around with unassigned specialization points. Oops. Specialization. We want to do the mining process first. And yeah, we're going to make our mining a little more effective. This is an prior expansion. I'm not too worried about maximizing my talent points. I'll do that when we get to World Within. But for now, we're just trying to level. So I will take a screenshot, Harriet Queen. You are my first, and I appreciate that. You will always be special. As the first person who stuck with me as I'm learning how to stream, hopefully effectively, and where I help people. And we'll head down here. I really should get back to questing. That's the goal of this, is to get him leveled up. I probably should stop squirrel hunting these yellow dots and treasures, but it all makes gold. All right, one more. Then we're going to get back to the questing area. Even though there's 2 yellow dots still on the screen, which just is going to drive me crazy, but we're going to leave this and head back to where we need to be questing. This is a little closer to my questing area. I'm going to use that as an excuse to go get this yellow dot. All right, come here, buddy. So we'll try to get to level 30 before we call it a day with Crazy Bear. He'll be on his way to 70, which is where we want to end up, at least for now. We need to kill a bunch of these guys, so let's go on and do that. Get them coming in. All right, got that. And we're back over here. Let's get these guys. And there we go. And here's some more of those fun things to kill. Let's go on and pull all these and get done with that. And we'll go over here. And one more of those guys saved, and we're out of this quest, which would be kind of nice. Going over here and talk to this guy. There's a yellow dot for us to go after. Let's go do that. Make that gold. And we're going to grab this ore and then head off to turn these quests in. There sure is. Plenty of yellow dots to chase too. And let me go up here. See if I can find this one quickly. If not, yeah, there it is. Of course. Blizzard does like to play games with you, putting these things in slightly inconvenient places so that you get to play with figuring out how to. There it is. Oh, that's a nice transmog. I already know it, but that's okay. And we'll turn this quest in. So this evening, when I stream, I will be starting my crafters. I plan on using my herbs and ore on a alchemy and a blacksmith. More precisely, on a engineer. Crazy. Gotta come up with a name for my second toon. They will be using the stuff that CZYBEARGOLD is collecting today. And tomorrow we'll show you how to, instead of selling everything, how to set up. Not sure why I can't fly here. Kind of interesting. Instead of saying I can't fly here. There we go. Set up operations so that you do different things depending on what it is that you've got in your bags. So that will be tomorrow, after I have my crafting toon up and running. And that's just weird. You can't fly here. All right, maybe it's telling me I need to be out of this area. So we'll do that. That's just interesting. Can't fly here either. Okay. Let's see, where do we want to go? We want to get back to our questing area, which is down this way. Hopefully at some point we can fly again. Sure would hate to run this whole thing. There we go. All right, let's get back and let's do this world quest real quick. Hopefully we'll have some gear. Let's see what does it have. Yeah, it's got a nice piece of gear. Yeah, that's an upgrade. I think I'll do that. Let's see. Oh, it's a raft quest. We'll go take some pictures. So making gold doesn't mean you have to give up your game. You can. People do gold making full time where they do very little questing. I tend to try and do about 50-50. I do spend a considerable amount of time making gold, but you don't have to. Gold making could be as simple as optimizing the things that you get while you're questing, farming, enjoying the game the way you choose to enjoy it, and just taking a couple of seconds to set stuff up so that you can make more gold with those items. You'll also learn a lot more about the game than you did when you weren't gold making, because you start seeing relationships between why things do the things that they do when they do them. For example, season 2 is getting ready to come out. This is in January of 2025 that I'm recording this. And when season 2 comes out, most likely, not guaranteed, but most likely prices will go up for especially mats and stuff as people have to re-gear for the new season. So it would be a good time to be in a position to sell some mats that are popular and make a little extra gold. Sometimes I get a little crazy with this new dynamic flying. the pet battle there. Just as XP, I don't want to spend my time doing that right now. I need to relocate the bees. Let's go do that real quick. At some point, we'll get into pet battling. You can make some money on pets, especially if they're level 25. That is not today a major source of my income. It's something that I would like to do more of, but today is not a big part of my income. You can't do every kind of gold making. Specializing is a better way of making large amounts of gold than if you happen to diversify and do a whole bunch of things. I tend to create a couple of crafters. Thanks, Mia Mama. I appreciate you joining the stream here today. If you have any questions about gold making, would love to answer them. Today we got done with day one of gold making, and we had a pretty nice showing. Let me pull that up real quick. Yesterday. So yesterday was day one. We started out as a level 1, and we ended up the day with 717 gold, made some nice vendor flips, and sold some items. So I was pretty happy with Crazy Bear on his day one. So far today, we have set up a bank Toon that we'll be using in the future, and we're just trying to level Crazy Bear Gold up a little bit more. This evening, the stream will be starting our crafting Toon. I haven't come up with a name yet, so if you have any ideas or suggestions, I would love to hear what you would like to see our second Toon named. But welcome. You are welcome anytime. Please come back often. And we'll give the bees back out. By the way, speaking of bees, I'm actually a beekeeper. I have one hive today. I got a second hive coming in April from my lovely wife for Christmas. So I will have 2 hives in early April. So bees hold a special place in my heart. I started beekeeping about 1.5 years ago and have never looked back. It's something I thoroughly enjoy. I don't like the winters because I don't get to play with my bees. An interesting fact is there are around 40 to 60,000 bees in a normal hive. Of those 40 to 60,000, less than 1% of them are males. All of the work is done by female bees, and the men are strictly there to have fun with the queen. And in the winter, the ladies kick the men out and kill them. Kind of interesting facts about beehives that I never knew until I started beekeeping. I will talk about my bees frequently as we go down through the stream. And I'm going to turn in this quest, and I think I'll be ending stream for this morning. I will be back on this evening. I have my schedule posted and would love to have you join us again. But Crazy Bear will be going back to the city. As I said, I post normally at the beginning of running a Toon and at the end. In this case, we'll go check the mailboxes to see if anything else is sold. We won't be posting as we will be using the items in Crazy Bear Gold's inventory to start working with our crafter this evening. We'll show some more about how to set up a crafter, how to do sending. So We'll take Crazy Bear Gold back to the sitting. We do have quite a bit. Let's clean up our bags real quick. So this is good. Let me just sell my vendor items first. Pair. Yeah. And so this can be sold. This we already own. We'll just sell that to the vendor. I believe this is going to be an upgrade. It's an upgrade because I don't have a hat. That's interesting. That can be sold. We'll do that. We'll get rid of that. That's an extra knowledge point. So we have quite a few items that we can sell on the auction house tonight when we get back on. And that's a nice upgrade, 135 versus 48. I'll take that. And we need to sell these 2 items. So my bags are cleaned again. I can get that XP and get that out of my bag, so let me do that. So I try to leave my bags cleaned after I get done with every quest, so questing time, so that I'm ready to go for the next day. And we'll head back to the capital city, let Crazy Bear get much needed rest. And we will see everybody this evening. I hope you return and enjoy the stream. Thank you so much for joining. You can follow me on Twitch. You can subscribe to my Discord. I don't respond to my Discord during my stream. I do that after stream. I check to see if there are any questions that I might have missed. But again, enjoy your day and happy gold making. Thank you.